What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. We are getting closer and closer. We are just over 24 hours away from the start of the 2026 NFL Draft. Now, of course, it will be a little bit longer than that before the Seahawks pick. At best, we are going to be picking pretty deep into the evening. Probably going to be like at least 3, maybe 3.5, or even 4 hours into the draft coverage. And it's also possible we don't actually pick until we get to the following day. But nevertheless, the draft is almost here, and it's exciting. If you're a football fan, you still get up for this kind of stuff, even if your team isn't necessarily going to be super involved. And I thought, since we're almost there, time to do one final check-in on the official top 30 visits tracker. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks, more on them in a moment. But yeah, I was kind of waiting and waiting and waiting for the Seahawks to put together their final burst of top 30 visits, and it didn't really come. Now, I guess it's possible that the Seahawks have had some visits that didn't get reported officially, and we don't know about them. But as of right now, if you go to Field Goals and you can double check this information on Emerald City Spectrum or Yahoo or anywhere else, according to the most recent information, as we sit here right now, about 24 hours shy of the actual draft, the Seattle Seahawks have used 20 of their top 30 visits. 20. So, as far as we know, they have left 10 on the table. Now, I think what this really reflects is the team's commitment to shrinking their board. And shrinking their board is one reason why this team feels like they've done so well in recent years. Um, Schneider believes that a big reason why the team was not drafting well for a while there is because they wanted to look at everybody, so they didn't get a really firm idea of what was good and what would work. So there was basically spreading yourself too thin. Now the team wants to narrow in and focus on a subset of the board. Now, 20 visits out of 30, so leaving 10 unused, is pretty extreme in my experience. I don't think most other teams do that. So I can't say that I'm in love with that, but at the same time, this team only has 4 picks. If they use those 4 picks well, or even if they use 2 of those 4 picks well, they've done their job. So they don't need to use all top 30 visits. They just need to use the 20 that they did use on the right players and then make the right picks from there. So it looks like we've got the final top 30. So let's go through the list one more time. I don't think we're going to learn anything between now and the draft, so let's just go ahead and punch it in. So, according to Field Goals, the top 30 visit list includes safety A.J. Halsley of LSU. Talked about him before. More of a box safety to me. Not a huge fan of his flexibility, but there is some value there for sure. The Chris Johnson interview, by the way, did not happen. He never came for the top 30 visit. That was falsely reported for a while. But by the way, just to quickly sound off on that, don't think that that really means anything. Don't think that means we don't like Chris Johnson. Top 30 visits, in my experience, are used for players that you're curious about, but you're not sure about. If a team is very confident that a player is the guy or very confident they're not the guy, they're not going to use a top 30 visit. So, logically speaking, these are things that you do for players that you're kind of in the middle on. Do you like sports? If you do, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. I've had a great time using Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing so easy and fun, and it even makes watching the games way more exciting. And with the cool social feeds feature, you can share lineups with your friends and even follow partners to tail or fade their picks. Obviously, we're in the NFL offseason right now, but we've got basketball, baseball, hockey, all kinds of other stuff, so don't be afraid to test things out in whatever sport clicks with you. You can even pick multiple sports in the same lineup and sweat everything at once. And don't forget about team picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So, Download Prize Picks, America's #1 sports app. And don't forget, code HMA, that is HMA, gives you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. All right, so after that, you had the cornerback from Toledo, Andre Fuller, kind of a maybe UDFA target, possibly a 6th-round pick target, somewhere around there. Definitely a later in the draft guy. Dalen Everett, Georgia cornerback. That one's really appealing, by the way. Would love to get him in even the 3rd round, but if you trade back into the 4th, I think that's an absolute coup if you can get Dalen Everett in day 3. And a lot of people think he'll be there in day 3, even though I'm not convinced. Jalen Kilgore, South Carolina cornerback, although he may be a safety. I don't really know what Kilgore is, but maybe he's both. Maybe he's neither. That's the mystery here, and he's fun. I like him. I appreciate him, I suppose. Coleman Bennett, running back from Kennesaw State. Really hard to say much about him. I did what I could when I evaluated him a few days ago, but there's not a lot to say about Coleman Bennett that we know about. Very small school. Chip Trayanum, Toledo running back, power back, bigger guy. Kind of interesting, but also a guy who's probably a UDFA target, and that is something to keep in mind here. Some of these guys we're looking at, like Fuller, like Bennett, like Trayanum, one or two other guys as well, probably UDFA targets that we're trying to earmark for post-draft stuff. Edge rusher Zion Young from Missouri has some character concerns that have been popping up lately, but I think his game would fit in really well in Seattle. Mike Washington Jr., running back from Arkansas. Really tough evaluation, so much talent, but problems as well. But I'm a fan. Would love to get him. Caden McDonald, Ohio State defensive tackle. We had him in. Love him, by the way. Big fan. Would love to get him. I understand that it would put some people off, but not me. R. Mason Thomas, Oklahoma edge. Don't really know where the fit is here in Seattle, to be perfectly honest, when you look at his game, but not a bad player. Just not somebody that I view as being a Mike McDonald fit. Kieran Crawford, Auburn edge. Not bad. A little bit more heft to him, but it's probably like a very late day 2 or early day 3 guy. Keyshawn James Newby, another probable UDFA target, New Mexico. Don't really know what the fit is here because he's so undersized. I almost wonder if he'd move to off-ball linebacker here. Colton Hood, Tennessee cornerback, could be a target in the 1st. Don't rule it out. Interesting stuff there. I kind of feel like it would be a waste to get Colton Hood and not put him in press zone all the time, but he is good. Brandon Cisse likes my tweets on X sometimes, so love him. And I love his game too. Would love to get him at 32. Cassius Howell of Texas A&M, the edge rusher. Kind of a weird one. I think he's good. I don't know what he's going to do here. Not really a fit for what we do in my mind, but maybe there's something going on that Mike McDonald sees with him that I don't. And if anybody deserves the benefit of the doubt on pretty much everything right now, it's Mike. And, well, Mike and John, I guess, is kind of a dual roster building role. Malachi Lawrence, the edge rusher from Central Florida, UCF. You'd probably have to use your 1st rounder or an early 2nd rounder to get him. If that, he might go to the Niners at 27, the way some people are talking. Very fun potential, great athlete, tested great, but didn't necessarily produce as much as you would like, given that he played at a smaller school. Traydon Stukes of Arizona, could be a corner, could be a safety, could be both. He's going to be something, though. I don't think he's going to be neither. At the very least, he'll be a decent safety. But Stukes is actually kind of an underrated option here. Like, if you get to your pick and you want a defensive back, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is gone, and Dylan Thieneman is gone, and you don't want one of the straight corners, you want one of the safeties, but you know that Halsley's not quite good enough, Zakee Wheatley's not good enough. Traydon Stukes stands as like a really unique hybrid of corner and safety traits that might be appealing. Missouri linebacker Josiah Trotter, like a 2nd round guy. I don't dislike him. I think he's worthy of being a 2nd round pick. I think he's a good player. I don't know if this would be the linebacker play that I make, but he will probably be available at some point when Seattle picks. Brandon Cleveland, the nose tackle from NC State, kind of undersized, but not a bad game. He does take up space in there. There is an appreciation for him, I think. And Bo Stevens is, as of me recording this video, our most recent known top 30 visit. I think I put him in like the 5th round. He's all right. Iowa guard. He's a left guard in college. I don't know what he'll do in the pros, but little bit physically lacking, but he's smart and he's very experienced in the zone offense. He's kind of like Oluwatimi. Oluwatimi is a really good zone center, even though athletically he doesn't really cut the mustard because he's so familiar with it. And that's it. So that's 20 visits. So as far as we know, that's all we've got. And again, I would have liked to have used a few more for more knowledge, but at the same time, this is the approach that the Seahawks have felt rewards them the best in recent drafts. So I can't really argue with that philosophy. It's certainly better than what we were doing for a while there. And by the way, there have been some local visits. Jonah Coleman was the big one here. He's going to be probably a day 2 or day 3 pick. But we did check with a couple of defensive backs from in the conference, Skylar Thomas and Colby Humphrey. I don't think either of those guys are going to get drafted, or if they get drafted, it'll be very late, but we are earmarking them for maybe UDFA work. All right, so that is it. And I don't think we're going to get any more updates between now and the draft. So that's who we met with that we know of. All right, I will see you guys later. Going to be streaming tonight is the plan. And yeah, we're almost there. Go Hawks.